Hey, what's up again? So I'm in like the Coachella Valley area and I was like, you know what? I want to film another one of these. You're probably not able to see this and I don't know how to adjust, but those mountains out there are like, they're pretty cool. There's like snow on some of them, but I just think it's a nice little backdrop. There's a lot of stuff I could talk about, but one of the biggest things I think about is, it's kind of deep, but it's losing the people like closest to you and like what that means or like how that kind of affects someone. Because I mean, there's plenty of people who experience more loss than me. There's plenty of people who have gone through way tougher things than me. But in my time, I've lost things that I've had, and it's tough to cope with that loss. And I feel like it's probably one of the hardest things in life is dealing with loss. And that could be something as simple as a friend moved to the States that you were like when you're in grade school, or something happened with a dog, or divorce, or this or that. But it kind of has an effect on you that's tough to emulate in anything else, because loss kind of just takes that part of whatever that role that thing played in your life. It kind of takes that, and there's a void, or there's a hole, and life doesn't feel the same without that. So for me, in my experiences, it's tough. It's tough when the things that you lose are the things closest to you. 4 years ago or something like that, my dad passed away. And when that happened, it was tough because like the dad stuff, I mean, obviously losing a parent and stuff like that, no pity needed, but it was more so the fact that growing up wasn't big with the friends and all that stuff. So for me, it was like losing best friend, all this stuff. So I had this massive void in my life. And if I didn't have faith, if I didn't believe, didn't have trust that, hey, things are gonna work out, I wouldn't be alive to say any of this stuff. So that's why I say like loss, it's tough. It's not gonna be easy. It's always gonna be difficult in some form or fashion, but it's a teaching method in order for you to grow and to, in a sense, like compensate in other areas in life. In the 4 years since then, since that loss, I've had to grow like out of a need to like I have to grow or have to change, or I'm not gonna be able to live. Like I literally cannot live with myself if I don't grow and change to compensate for what I've lost. And so what that done is push me to be more confident, to try new things, to go outside my comfort zone, to really just be more myself and not care what people think nearly as much as I used to. And that has been an insanely difficult process in a lot of ways, but one of the most valuable things. So loss has a connotation of negative. It's like, oh, I lost this, lost that, but it's helping you in ways that you never can anticipate to grow in other areas to kind of make up for it. So like for me, sure, I lost my dad, but it allowed me to grow my confidence, grow all this stuff to the point where I am not as reliant on that for joy, for my happiness. And now I can feel better about myself and throughout my days just have more joy, have more wherewithal to go through about life. A few years ago, whatever, there's this one girl really liked, fell in love with, and all that good stuff. And it was never reciprocated or any of the stuff, but going through that, experiencing that was huge for me. It was like first time I felt anything coming out of the other loss. And when she, like after graduation, all that stuff, she kind of left. She like likes to travel and all that good stuff. When she left, it was almost as tough as the dad thing because of just the role she played in my life, mind, heart, all that stuff. Like where it's like, now it's like, oh shoot, I got someone, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like she was always on my mind, all that stuff in certain ways, still kind of is. But losing that was tricky because it was like a different kind of like losing like love, the love that you have for someone like romantic or whatever and stuff like that versus the love you have for like a parent or something like that is much different. So it felt like a different experience, but it also had aspects of it that were similar. Like there was just a void or a loss of a part of myself without her being around, at least somewhat. And what that forced me to is once again to like grow and to compensate for that. Because once again, I couldn't get by without growing, or I'd be feeling terrible. Like it was just like, hey, you gotta buckle up and you gotta really start pushing yourself to like be who you are. That one was very tough, but just like the other one, it was good learning method and honestly a blessing. It was a blessing to be in a situation. It's a blessing to be in these situations where you lose the stuff that you value the dearest. It's a blessing to do that. And obviously it's different. Someone moving and someone like dying, like it's different. But what time's taught me is that there's a value and a lesson and to everything that happens, good, bad, ugly, whatever the heck. There's always a lesson within the fine text, the fine print or whatever. And so all you got to do is kind of trust and listen. Almost listen or watch what life is kind of giving you, because there's always something. It's never like, oh, something happens, especially something big. Like if we're talking about loss usually has a pretty big, it's a big connotation. Like it's like lose a parent or even like losing a pet, losing a friend, losing all, it's big stuff. Like it's gonna change you in some way or another. So the whole idea of making any of this is that I just want to encourage that, okay, if you're going through a process where you lose someone or going through this, it's not just for nothing. It's not all like, oh, this sucks, now my life is gonna be terrible and stuff. It honestly is a way to just help you grow into a better version of yourself in order to kind of just move along with life. Life won't throw you something if there's not a role for it in the rest of it. So whenever you experience loss, go through any of that type of stuff, I just recommend just taking it day by day, seeing the process through. For me, I love to like journal and reflect, but like reflect on it and see the role that it played, and you kind of like, at least for me, I started to realize that the things that were the toughest, things that broke me down, things that took it all out of me were the things that helped me the most. They're the most amazing things, and I wouldn't be here without it. So I don't know if that helps anyone, helps you guys out there, but I thought I'd just make this little video out here, and hopefully you can see a little bit of the mountains. I'm sweating my tail off because I'm in this car and it's like 90 degrees out and all that stuff. But check out these videos if you want to see that. Have a nice day, and peace out.